What's up, guys? Donovan here, and today I have Torin Teaster with me. And Torin has actually been with Charleston Taekwondo for about 5.5 years now. He's actually transitioning from head instructor at our North Mount Pleasant location, which was our second location we ever opened. Now he's transitioning to a regional manager position. So he's going from overseeing one location to overseeing 4 locations, and then actually from there he's going to help us open a couple more in his region. So Torin, kind of catch us up. We had you on a couple months ago. What's been going on since then?
Yeah, kind of like you said, just growing my school and having some other staff come in to kind of take my position, and then like you mentioned, just transitioning into this new role, this new position, which is going to be great. Opportunities for myself, but also some other staff members. So that just means we're growing and expanding.
Yeah, I mean, we love expanding and hiring and giving opportunities from within our own organization. And like Torin said, this is a great opportunity for him to move to that next level of management. But then it also leaves a vacuum now that we can pull someone else in that is deserving in that position, that can move to a head instructor role, make more money, have more freedom in their life, and opportunity to grow in the future. You've kind of started ahead of time, just hopping around the locations that you're going to be overseeing. Yeah. Do you find yourself looking, for 5 years now, you've had one location that you're responsible for, right? These 4 walls, what's happening inside of these walls, the staff, everything is inside of that bubble.
Right.
But now you're getting eyes on other locations. How does that differ from what you've been doing for the past 5 years?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an adjustment, whereas when you're in one building, you feel like you can control most of everything that's happening. But going to 4 other schools with, multiple different staff members, you have less of a pulse sometimes on what is actually happening. So that I feel like is going to kind of be the biggest adjustment and just kind of grow me even more, is because naturally I'm kind of a control freak. I like to do things on my own, and I'd rather do it myself than ask someone. So I know this is going to be a good chance and challenge for me to kind of just have better communication with the staff to figure out what's actually happening, what's going on, even on days that I'm not there.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have one location, you can feel the vibe. You can feel like if the energy's off or if there's tension, right? You have a good sense of that. But however, when you're hopping around these other locations, sometimes it's obvious and you can see it, but sometimes it's not. There might be things festering underneath, right? That you're not privy to that information. Sure. So do you feel like it's important that as you start to visit these new locations, I would think one of the first things you have to do is really just get to know the staff, get to know, I hate to say it, their love language, right? Like, are they words of affirmation? Are they acts of service, right? Sure. Gifts? What makes them tick? What motivates them? What allows them to operate at a high level?
Yeah, no, for sure. And like you said, that's honestly kind of the first thing that I just jumped into, is because I obviously know the staff members that are there, but I don't know them on that level. I haven't worked with them every day for the past 4 or 5 years. So just going in and, getting to know them, like you said, what they like, what they don't like, getting to know the kids, who they're working with, and, the kids' mannerisms and habits and things like that. So when you go in, you kind of know what is happening versus just kind of, jumping the gun when you don't maybe fully understand a situation. So I think getting to know the staff as well as even some of the students is a big part of what this role is going to be.
Yeah, it's funny because I did not do that when I first started out, when we expanded. I also am a control freak. I like things the way I like them. And I have a funny story. I'll never forget when I first started, I was at the school every day in the beginning, right? 7 days a week. And then I cut back to 6 days a week. And then I decided, all right, I'm only going to do 5 days a week. And for me, those 5 days were Tuesday through Saturday. And I remember coming in Tuesday morning, and so because I wasn't there Friday, they had classes. I came in Tuesday. It was my first Tuesday coming in and having Monday off. And when I showed up, one of the wave masters, one of our bags, was not where it should have been. It was somewhere else on the floor. And my immediate response was like, what the heck? Like, this is why I have to be here every single day, is because they're not going to do what they're supposed to do if I'm not here driving the team. And I was so mad. I was like ready to just lay into the team when they showed up. The team showed up and I gave them a little bit of an attitude, but then they actually very simply explained why they did that. And it made a lot of sense, right? We had a bubble in the mat. We don't use the puzzle mats anymore, but there was a bubble in the mat, and they moved the wave master over to try to let it sink down overnight. But again, not knowing that information, I was ready to just be like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. but they had a reason. They were looking out for the business, but I wasn't privy to that information. So I was originally guns a-blazing, right? Like, do it the way I say to do it because I said to do it. And I found out very quickly that is no way to lead a team, because they start to resent you, right? They don't like you. So again, my advice, anyone out there, that if you're trying to get to the point of taking time off, not being at your facility every single day, get to know the people that are going to be running that business when you're not there, and learn how they like to be communicated with and how they like to be rewarded. Okay. So beyond going to the different locations, what's some things that do you feel like overall our mission at Charleston Taekwondo is to provide great service, for our students and for our community, for our parents? Do you feel like the schools have different energies and different vibes, or are they pretty similar?
I would say, for the most part, we've kind of hammered out, in classes like curriculum that we're teaching and things like that. So as far as that goes, it's pretty close to the same. But I think sometimes, depending on personality of staff, it can, kind of dictate maybe the energy or the flow of some things. Some staff might not be naturally as energetic or upbeat or something like that. So I think that definitely plays into, the culture of that facility. Yeah.
Do you feel like, and I completely agree. So do you feel like there is different energies, there's different vibes, there's more so different personalities, right? People have different levels of personalities. Do you feel like it's important to let the personalities kind of shine the way they are and let those students fall in love with that system and that instructor? Again, like you said, the curriculum's the same, the class schedule is the same, the events are the same. But do you feel like it should be more, hey, this is exactly how we all do it? Or do you think it's okay to let that personality shine?
I feel like it's a little bit of a nuanced question. I feel like to an extent, to a standard, I feel like someone's personality can come out as long as it's within like these parameters. Like, this is the energy standard, this is the curriculum standard, this is like, we have the standards in place. And, if little nuanced things are happening within that, I feel like it's okay. But if a head instructors or, staff is boring, not energetic, then, we can't just say, oh, their personality is, not as upbeat as yours. Right. That it doesn't really fit the mold. So I think, within the standards, certain nuances can definitely take place.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. There has to be a certain standard. Like this is the minimum, right? Like this is what we have to. And I think that's what sets our business, a lot of great martial arts schools, apart. I think a lot of it's just the energy and the teaching style. However, it is interesting because I've honestly seen in schools out there where I'm like, I look at their curriculum, I look at the class structure, and my immediate thought is, I don't like it. I don't think it's that good. However, this person has 200, 300, 400 students. Clearly, they're able to connect with their community, their student population. So don't take my advice. Don't change anything. It's clearly working, right? Yeah. Just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not someone else's cup of tea. So again, it's been about a year since we had spoke. You're transitioning to this new role. Let's take a look back. Torin, 5.5 years ago, you just made the decision. You're going to come to Charleston Taekwondo and do this. Do you feel like you've changed in the 5.5 years?
I would say so. I didn't really know what to expect. You don't really know what 5 years down the road looks like. You have a plan, you have an idea, but being 5 years down the road now, I don't think I anticipated like what is happening. Because at that time it was, just 2 schools. Now we're, 8, 9, continuing to grow. Seeing that has encouraged me to level up. Because if I want to, be on the ship, be on the bus, I'm going to have to continue to grow. And that's every day of, podcasting, reading, whatever it happens to be, changing your mindset about certain things, taking time before you just get on to coworkers or, staff, like just taking a minute. So there are definitely things that I have grown in, like individually and as a person within the company. So it's been a great experience this far.
Yeah, awesome.